Monday is looking very interesting for eFootball because Konami is bringing Cannavaro, Maldini, and Nesta together. And honestly, after seeing Cannavaro's stats, I think this card could be a serious problem for attackers. The first thing that stands out is his defensive awareness. 99 defensive awareness, 100 defensive engagement, 100 tackling, 97 aggression. Those numbers are ridiculous for a center back. Cannavaro is basically built to stay involved in every defensive situation, and the 100 tackling is especially scary. If he gets close enough to the ball, you would expect him to be extremely difficult to dribble past. And then there's Shadow Hunt. This is probably the most interesting part of the card. We don't know exactly how it will feel until we see him properly in game, but the skill sounds perfect for a defender like Cannavaro. He's supposed to be aggressive when tracking attackers and hunting down the ball, and these defensive stats give him the perfect foundation for it. Then you look at his physical stats and things get even crazier. 94 physical contact, 88 balance, 93 speed, 90 acceleration. For a center back, that's a fantastic combination. He's not one of those defenders who relies purely on strength and positioning. He actually has enough pace to recover when an attacker gets behind the defensive line. And we have to talk about the 101 jump. That might be the funniest stat on the entire card. Cannavaro isn't exactly known for being a massive center back, so Konami clearly decided to compensate for that. Instead of making him huge, they've given him ridiculous jumping ability. And with aerial forward as well, I can already see why people are going to be interested in this card. If you're facing a striker who loves crosses and aerial balls, Cannavaro could be much harder to beat than his height would suggest. But obviously this card isn't perfect. His passing is pretty average, with 72 low pass and 70 lofted pass. So if you're looking for a center back who can comfortably build attacks from the back, Cannavaro probably isn't your first choice. His finishing is 61, place kicking is 54, and curl is 56. But those stats aren't really important here. We're not buying Cannavaro to take free kicks. We're buying him to defend. And defensively, the numbers are hard to ignore. 99 awareness, 100 engagement, 100 tackling, 97 aggression, 94 physical contact, 93 speed, 101 jump. That's an insane defensive profile. But there's one thing I always want to remind people about when we're looking at eFootball cards. Stats don't tell the entire story. We've all used defenders with ridiculous numbers who suddenly forget how to defend at the worst possible moment. You can have 100 tackling and still watch your center back completely miss a challenge. That's why I want to see how Shadow Hunt actually performs in real matches. Does it make Cannavaro more aggressive when tracking attackers? Does it help him close down space faster? Does aerial fort make that 101 jump as ridiculous in-game as it looks on paper? Those are the things that will decide whether this is just a great card or an absolute endgame defender. And the fact that Maldini and Nesta are arriving alongside him makes this even more interesting. You're not just looking at one legendary center back. You're potentially choosing between 3 iconic defenders in the same pack. Personally, Cannavaro has already caught my attention because his stats are so different. He's fast, aggressive, strong, extremely good at tackling, and has ridiculous jumping ability. The only thing we can't judge yet is how all of that translates into gameplay.